Well, hello and welcome to the Shifts and Pucks News Pack for Friday, September the 9th. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at Shifts and Pucks, Facebook.com Shifts and Pucks, YouTube.com Shifts and Pucks, Twitch.com Shifts and Pucks. Subscribe wherever you get your audio, as well as on the Area 51 Sports Network. Just a reminder, of course, we had our podcast on Wednesday reacting and responding to the JT Miller signing, as he, of course, is now with the Vancouver Canucks for the next 7 years. So we talked about that. We got a clip coming up on that. Had some technical issues I was dealing with. That clip will be up this afternoon, a little bit later, so check that out as well. As we get into the news of the day, Bruce Boudreau was on Donnie and Dolly today, and he a couple of things came out of there. Also, Rick Dollywall spoke with Jim Rutherford today as well. So a few things come out of that. The first thing is looks like Andrei Kuzminko is going to be playing every preseason game. That is what Boudreau said uh, on the show. He talked a little bit about, yeah, talked to, excited about what Kuzmenko will bring. Thinks he will have he has a tremendous personality. He'll own the city if he becomes a player. Always laughing and smiling. Something I've really noticed more with the Vancouver Canucks is just sort of this, and we talked about this on the podcast. Uh, just a little bit more of a positive attitude within the Vancouver Canucks culture. And I do think that that will happen. But the plan is to play every preseason game. Um, he's Boudreau talking about being big on conditioning and knowing the systems to a T. Pace of play is huge. He wants to play an up-tempo, fast-paced game. First games to be ready. Lots of teams are not, and that is why it's important to have a good start. And that was part of the reason, or a key reason, why the Canucks did not make the playoffs last year, because they were on a 106-point pace last year, if you remember. And when Bruce Boudreau took over, but they got up to such a horrendous start that they were digging themselves out of a deep hole to try to get themselves back into that. As far as Rutherford here, they are bringing in Danny Dekeyser for a PTO. And lots of talk about Calvin DeHaan. DeHaan is joining the Carolina Hurricanes on a PTO. So that they're bringing in Danny DeKeyser. Donald asked about, of course, the need for a right shot defenseman, and according to what Rutherford shared today, um, he or according to what Rutherford said to Dollywall, the idea is they have got a lot of guys on the left side who can move over. Of course, you have Kyle Burrows, Travis Dermott, and OEL. Oliver Ekman Larson can play that side. And Quinn Hughes said that he can try the right side as well. So um, that is, so we're going to have a lot of people switching around here. Alex Chiasson has been hanging around the Vancouver kind of camp. Nothing has been confirmed there. If he's coming in on a PTO or not, but he did make the team on a PTO last year, so you still wonder about that. They are, Rutherford says they do like Chiasson and they do talk about Chiasson, but um, that is what's going on there. We talked about Danny DeKeyser getting a PTO with the Vancouver Canucks and Calvin DeHaan getting a PTO with the Carolina Hurricanes. Zach Aston-Reese, former Pittsburgh Penguin, will be joining the Toronto Maple Leafs on that on a PTO as well. He uh, will be joining the team there on a PTO. Played with Pittsburgh last year, uh, and it will be he's played a split with Pittsburgh and Anaheim, 2 goals and 11 points with Pittsburgh, 3 goals, 4 points in 17 games with the Ducks after the trade deadline. He's a defensive forward. And of course, I think he adds to that depth in Toronto in terms of that forward group. So I think it makes it more competitive. But the Leafs are still over that cap. And of course, they got a pretty crowded bottom six. They brought in Adam Gaudette. They brought Nicholas Aube-Kubel as well. So They're really trying to improve the depth on this team in terms of the forward group. They still have some cap issues as well. So I suspect some stuff happening from Toronto here at some point here. I do more movement there for sure in terms of that. One story we didn't came yesterday. Shane Doan has announced he's taken a step back from the Arizona Coyotes. Doan stressed that he doesn't want this to be seen as the way that hurts the organization. He wants the arena bid to be successful for the hockey's long-term future in the Valley. He rejoined Arizona as a chief hockey operations officer, development officer back in January 2021 after 3 years in their hockey operations department. He did say he's a big fan of second-year coach Andrei Kuzminko, would help him in any way that he asked. He gives him an opportunity to spend more time with his family, but Shane Doan taking some time away from the Arizona Coyotes. Of course, his son Jack was drafted by the Coyotes as well. So that he'll be entering his sophomore season in Arizona State. The Coyotes home opener, by the way, October 28th against Winnipeg. And they're actually, as far as one of the things, and I think that this is something that I'll leave this to you as the audience member to look at. They are generating far more season ticket revenue at that small arena than what they were holding in Glendale. Of course, there's some seating between 4,800 and 5,000 fans. Coyotes president CEO Xavier Gutierrez says that there is going to be sold out every single game, and we haven't had any doubt. The average ticket price at Mullet Arena is $170, 16 above the league average. It was about a 90 at Glendale, and they've already generated 50% more revenue than their best season in Glendale. So they're selling this as an improvement. It could be a unique situation to watch games there. I think a lot of people will still feel it's very amateur hour, but it might create a buzz in Arizona. I think I'm in the middle of this. I think that this is. I still feel I understand the amateur hour feel, but if it may generate a bit of a different environment there, who knows? Maybe that helps Arizona. We'll have to see about that. And to sign that we're getting closer to hockey season, WHL Preseason begins today. We've got a total of 3, 6, 9, 10 games today. We've got Vancouver hosting the Prince George Cougars, Kelowna's off to Kamloops, Regina's off to the Pats are off to Prince Albert. We've got Swift Current taking on Moose Jaw. We've got the Medicine Tiger taking on the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Oil Kings hosting the WHL Saskatoon Blades. Hitman hosting the Red Deer Rebels. Spokane is off to Everett. We've also got the Winnipeg Ice against the Brandon Wheat Kings, and the Seattle Thunderbirds taking on the Portland Winterhawks. So getting closer to hockey season all around. And that will be the news for today. Of course, you can follow us all individually on Twitter. Christian Schneidz, SCHNEIDZ, Devin Gordhow09, Tyler TNOBLE, Sean Beardy Canuck 03. I am KEVOLE. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Subscribe wherever you get your audio, as well as on YouTube, of course, and the Area 51 Sports Network. Thanks, everyone, for watching and listening, and we'll talk to you all very soon. Bye for now.